lawsuit alleges Quebec hospital has been sterilizing Indigenous women. This is a huge issue. At least 35 in Quebec have been sterilized against their will since 1980. Quebec's Superior Court has authorized a class action lawsuit filed on Monday by two Indigenous women who say they were sterilized by doctors without their consent after their fifth births. The court says it's authorizing the suit on behalf of all women who have undergone this surgery that has impaired their fertility without having given their free and informed consent since 1980. This is from Jezebel, the data per the Canadian press. UT and MX both say they were subjected to tubal ligation without their consent after giving birth at their respective hospitals for a fifth time. One of the women alleges she didn't even know the procedure was being performed on her. The other says she was coerced into having the procedure by her doctor. Plaintiffs blame an unnamed Integrated Health and Social Services Center called CIS in Quebec for what was done to them per the Canadian press. The lawsuit states the organization allowed these criminal acts to be perpetrated with complete impunity by doctors. Unfortunately, here we go, not unique to Canada. Here in the United States, over a 6-year period in the 1970s, physicians sterilized an estimated 25 to 42% of Indigenous women of childbearing age. At the height of this movement in the U.S., in the early 20th century, at least 70,000 people, 32 states were subjected to involuntary sterilizations that disproportionately targeted disabled people, poor people, Indigenous people, people of color. Quebec Superior Court Justice Lucas Granasic wrote in his judgment authorizing the class action suit this week, "It is quite possible to argue that sterilizing a woman without her free and informed consent constitutes a civil fault, ethical misconduct, a criminal act, a violation of Quebec's Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms. The suit is ongoing, and who knows how many women could come forward." Barbaric, Yasmin. And the fact that this is Canada and so many just believe that, oh, Canada, beautiful place. It too has a dark history. Your take.
Yeah, Canada, just like the United States, does not have a good history as far as the way that the immigrant population, I'll say, has treated the Indigenous population. And I think in the US, we talk about it more, we're more aware of it. We have the Trail of Tears and Manifest Destiny, all these different things that are taught in schools. And in Canada, I don't know. I obviously don't know what Canadian children are taught in schools regarding their Indigenous communities, but I know recent history has unearthed a lot of really, really unsavory details. And this is just adding on top of all of that, I think most average people want to see people respected, especially the Indigenous people, especially people who understand the hardships that they have gone through in the past and the hardships that they continue to live with to this day, right? In a lot of ways, they are still repressed and suppressed in society. They're not acknowledged the way they should be. And now they're sterilizing the women. It would be interesting to see if more women come forward after now this is all going public. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of it happening. But even, the cases that have come through, I think you said like around 30 or so, it's too many. It's unfathomable that something like this could happen to a woman who's just going to the doctor.
Yeah, lawsuits, class action suits, that's one thing. That's the remedy that we have, our country, Canada, wherever, but it's not going to make up for this this is assault.
Yeah.
Permanently scarred. You assaulted me. And you can have all the laws and the charters that violated the charter that you want. But this to me is yet another example of you can't legislate valuing another human being that you don't see as human. You see as less than, a subhuman, actually. And that's what comes to mind here. I picture people that we may otherwise like, your neighbor, someone that you see while out shopping and say, "Hey, Bob, how you doing? Your doctor friend." Not offensive in any way, but this normal doctor, because I would question it. I don't care how long it's been in practice. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? Okay. Why would I do that? because I don't see that I'm doing anything wrong, because I've been brought up to believe these aren't like actually, humans. They don't deserve all the rights that the rest of us have. Am I off base?
No, I don't think you are at all, especially because whenever we see similar types of movements, I'll say whether that's like genocide or eugenics, things like that, whenever we see things like that happening within societies, a lot of time, almost every time, I should say, the thing that precedes it is that dehumanization campaign, right? It's getting regular, whoever the regular people are, this one group, it's getting this group of people to see that group of people as some kind of other. And a lot of times that other doesn't take long to get to, not even human at all. And I don't know, like I exist in this world as the daughter of immigrants. I'm a brown female, I'm not black, I'm not white. So I don't know if I like kind of see it, it's unfathomable to me to see anyone as less than human. And I don't know if it's because I exist kind of in the middle somewhere of like these larger, polar scales that we have governing this country. But I can't even, I feel like I can empathize with people usually, but I can't even like get into that headspace of not seeing a person as a person. I don't
Well,
get it.
you described a lovely cocktail, and I see, never met your family, beautiful family, who did not inject these thoughts, these feelings
That's
into
true.
you.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's just that doesn't even occur to you. Which, wouldn't it be nice if that could spread more? It's a horrific case, one that we will keep an eye on, to our friends, Canada, up north. Okay. I mean, it is true that you walk down the street, you bump into a Canadian, and they say, sorry. Okay. You bumped into them. But that does not tell the whole story. And so it's something we got to keep an eye on.